Hello friends, welcome back, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Sana, mrs.perfectly.imperfect.keto, where being perfect is overrated and being imperfect is appreciated. Today is Tuesday, it is April 11th, and currently right now it is 4:14 p.m. I am almost feeling like I'm about to have a hunger cue, so I'm going to go ahead and show you all what I'm fixing for my one meal a day dinner. All right, friends, so what we're going to prepare is some baked meatballs as well as some baked chicken balls. So here I have 1 pound of that 85/15 grade ground beef that I had purchased from Sam's Club that I had showed you all in that mini shopping haul. And then I have here 1.5 pounds of ground chicken. So it's that same ground chicken from that same Sam's Club mini shopping haul. It comes as a 3-pound package, and I simply just portion it out to 1.5 pounds each and simply just Ziploc baggie it that way. And whenever I'm ready, I can just simply just take one baggie out, have 1.5 pounds thawed out, and have another 1.5 pounds for a future meal. So it ends up being a good bang for the buck that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and season these. I'm going to use the Slap Ya Mama seasoning. So this simply just has salt, black pepper, red pepper, and granulated garlic. I'm going to go in with this because I have not used it in a few days. So we're going to go ahead and just simply season both of these. So meatballs is definitely a really great option. It comes out so flavorful whether you bake them. You can also pan fry them if you want to in either some tallow or some lard if you have lard available, or you could even use some butter. So really the option's yours for as far as what greasing agent you're going to use for frying them. So I'm just going to go ahead and give this a mix here. Just to make sure all the seasoning gets incorporated. And this is definitely a recipe and a meal that is so versatile, because if you are doing carnivore and you are incorporating dairy, you can always add some cheese to this, any cheese you prefer. You can add Parmesan cheese, you can add shredded cheese, either mozzarella or cheddar cheese. It is so versatile as far as any cheese you want to use. So I do have a separate glove here that I'm using for the chicken. That way we don't have any cross-contamination between the chicken and then the ground beef. So we're going to go ahead and mix them separately here. And I do have 2 sheet pans here already lined with some parchment paper. I prefer using the parchment paper because it really allows for these meatballs and these chicken balls to not stick. So it's definitely a lot more convenient than using, say, for example, some foil wrap. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do the ground beef first, because it's definitely a lot more better to go in with your ground beef first and then the chicken, because the chicken definitely with the salmonella, it can definitely cause cross-contamination. So here I just have a cookie scoop is simply what this size of scooper is. So it's not your typical ice cream scoop. This is simply just the one that is usually used for cookies. That is normally how this one would be labeled at the store in the packaging. So it's easy and more convenient to use the scooper. So what I like to do is I like to just scoop them all out. And what I'm going to do is once I have these all scooped out, I'm going to make sure to roll them up. That way they have a nice even round shape to them. But as I'm saying, this is definitely a recipe that you can make for even your family that is not doing carnivore, that might not be doing ketovore or keto. Most definitely, I ate a lot of meatballs on the standard American diet. The only difference is these do not have breadcrumbs. And most definitely the ones that I was consuming on the standard American diet definitely had some breadcrumbs in them. So if you want, you can definitely add a binder if you prefer to have that breadcrumb-like texture. So you can definitely accomplish that with either using a dairy option like ground Parmesan cheese. So that would be considered like your powdered Parmesan cheese. The one that has the green labeling, if you know which one I'm talking about, that popular powdered one, it definitely is not the cleanest option that you can purchase. So I definitely suggest buy the shredded one, because the shredded one is definitely clean ingredients and you can always powder it yourself very easily by putting it in a food processor or putting it, say for example, if you have a Ninja Foodie, you can simply just put it in the blender and just pulse it and get it nicely powdered and ground. So that is definitely an option when it comes to getting a clean Parmesan cheese if you cannot have the ground pork rinds. And that's another option as well. So when it comes to the already grounded up pork rinds, they are expensive. Myself, I cannot eat pig because I'm allergic to it. My children are also allergic to it. But definitely, I've seen the prices on the shelf, and it's expensive to buy the already grounded up pork rinds into crumbs. So most definitely, it would definitely be a cheaper option. Get the bag of pork rinds and you can do the same thing. Pulse it in your food processor, pulse it in a Ninja Foodie type of single serving option. If you have a Vitamix, you can always very easily use that as well. But it will definitely save you money in the long run, because when it comes to the pork rinds, especially the ones that are not flavored, it is definitely a lot more affordable and you will get a lot more stretch of your dollar and a lot more bang for your buck going that route of doing it yourself. So it might not provide you the convenience of purchasing the already grounded pork rinds, but sometimes it is so much more better to put that little bit of effort, because it does not take much time at all. And if you can save money by just putting in a little bit of time and having your blender do the work for you, it's definitely worth it, because that allows a lot of money to go towards other items that you need part of your shopping trip. All right, so I'm almost just about done. So I'm going to see which ones I could add a little bit to, because I have a little bit here that was a little small. But this is definitely very easy and very doable to even anyone that might not be a novice in the kitchen. It is so simple and so easy to make meatballs, chicken balls, whatever you want to do. And when I was actually keto, I actually had done before with ground beef and also with ground chicken. I have done before a feta cheese and spinach version. So for me, that was really good because I am also part Turkish. So being part Turkish, we eat a lot of feta cheese and also a lot of spinach, but the spinach does not do me any good, so definitely I stay away from it, but it's definitely an option. So here are the ground beef ones. So we have them balled up here. All right, now let's get into doing the chicken. So mainly the reason why I do it that way is because definitely the chicken, as I said, I definitely do not want to be causing any cross-contamination with this chicken. So I'm just doing the same process as I did with the ground beef. And I'm simply just scooping balls of the ground chicken here. And we are going to go in and shape them up and make sure they are really good ball shapes. So generally, because these are on the smaller ends, they generally take anywhere from 12 to 15 minutes at that 400 degrees Fahrenheit in the oven. So they do not take any time at all. Another suggestion, if you are someone that has a busy schedule and if this right here is too much preparation for you, you can always do this, ball them up, have them on the parchment paper on a sheet pan, and you can actually stick the sheet pan in the freezer, allow them to get frozen, and you would just bag them up in a Ziploc baggie, and they would be ready to go for you. So they will take a little bit more time when it comes to baking them. So they might take anywhere from 25 to 30 minutes if you go the route of freezing them. But if it's getting you that convenience in the long run, it's definitely an option for you. So there is definitely so many ways of making this way of eating doable and possible. So honestly, we might find excuses, but to be honest with you, there is really no valid excuses when it comes to this way of eating. It definitely is doable for anyone. No matter what your schedule is, it's definitely doable. All right, so I'm just shaping the chicken. The chicken is a lot more softer. So I'm just going to do my best to just shape them up in the pan here. So it's okay if they are not perfect circles. They are just going to be as tasty no matter what their shape is. So I'm almost just about done. But if you are doing keto or carnivore and you go the route of doing the frozen meatballs, or even if you do it in this version, you can definitely either bake them or pan fry them. And you can definitely par cook them, whether you bake them or fry them. And you can definitely use your favorite sauce. If you're not eliminating dairy product carnivore, you can definitely make an Alfredo sauce. Keto and carnivore, you can definitely use a tomato sauce. So you definitely have a lot of options when it comes to cooking up these chicken balls or these meatballs. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and just wash my hands really quickly. Hey friends, I just wanted to wash my hands after touching that chicken because I definitely don't want any contamination in the kitchen. So I have these chicken ones shaped up the best that I could. Let me go ahead and show you all. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick these both in the oven. So as I said, they take roughly around 12 to 15 minutes. I'm going to keep an eye on them around that 15-minute mark to see if we're needing any more additional time. But as soon as I take them out of the oven, I will show you all what they look like once they get completed. Hey friends, a timer just beeped off for 15 minutes. So let's take a look. All right, so the meatball ones are definitely a really good color. Let me go ahead and take those out because I don't want these to cook any longer. So you see how simple and easy they came out, and I did not use any binder, and they still stayed together without any sort of flours, cheeses, any binder at all. And the chicken here, I definitely want a little bit more color. So these are definitely cooked. The juices are running clear that I can see on the parchment paper, but I definitely want some more color on this chicken. So I'm going to give it another 4 to 5 minutes and we'll check on it then. And the timer just beeped off for an additional 4 minutes. Okay, perfect. So now these have some really nice coloring over the tops. So as you can see, we definitely have our ground chicken bowls as well as the ground beef ones. All right, so I am not ready to eat as of yet. I did do a lot of yard work with my husband and did some cleaning up in the garage. So I was a little bit hungry earlier. So I simply just had a beef stick to kind of tie myself over. But that is really all that I wanted, all that my body needed at that given time. So I'm going to go ahead and update you all once I have my food plated up. But as you can see, this is super, super easy to do without any sort of binders, just simply the meat and the seasoning only. So stay tuned for my plating up. All right, friends, I do now have my 1 meal a day dinner plated up. So as you can see, I have 3 of the baked meatballs. I do have a couple of the chicken ones, and I do have about a tablespoon or 2 of some butter, some soft scrambled eggs, and 2 of the butcher hot dogs. I simply just split them in half, still keeping the hot dog connected, but cutting it and splitting it this way, it allows it to get a little bit more crispy in the air fryer. But I'm going to go ahead and enjoy this while it's still hot. I want to thank you all for watching. I want to thank you all for joining me on this Tuesday. I appreciate you all. Take care, friends.